Welcome to Tales from the Outdoor Show. We'll ride the crest of the waves as we search for angling action. With a focus on key techniques, you'll learn the simplest methods for success. So come with us on our next adventure on Tales from the Outdoor Show with your hosts, Brad Deckard and Captain Kevin Faver. Welcome to Tales from the Outdoor Show. And Kevin, this time of year is we just have some fantastic fishing.
Yeah.
You've got the influx of the kingfish you were telling me about that you guys have had great opportunity during the week to catch. You've got tarpon and sharks that are coming up behind the shrimp boats as they're trawling. And you guys had a great fishing day this week.
Yeah, it was just one of those days that set up perfect, Brad. We had a southwest wind early in the morning, which means our beaches are calm, you know, and then we had a southeast sea breeze in the afternoon. So what we did is we popped offshore to begin with, and man, the kingfishing was phenomenal. I mean, literally, first bait out is like, here we go, guys, you know, and then we caught kingfish for 2 or 3 hours until we just said, okay, let's go do something else.
Now, they were hitting trolling up on top of water?
Live
baits?
Yep, absolutely, and we're going to go back to a little tip during the show and show you, you know, what we were doing with that and why. But also, after the sea breeze started, we ran in and got behind a shrimp boat, and dude, that beautiful, beautiful water was in there, and God, those tarpon were feeding in there, and there was big kingfish feeding on that bycatch.
So you were sight casting to a lot of these big fish.
Sight casting to them, man. It was awesome. You got to check it out.
That's fantastic. Enjoy the show, folks. You're going to enjoy this action.
Today we're fishing out of St. Augustine, and it's the middle of July, summertime, which I love. Water temperature is 80 degrees. And we're catching fish. Acts like shark. Yep, cold water shark too. Must be a thermocline down there. Perfect. Let him go. Live another day. So we were trying to talk about what we were doing today, and again, it's the middle of July, 80 degrees of water temperature. The water is absolutely beautiful. We stopped in there behind the shrimp boats a little earlier. We did see one tarpon, but we knew these kingfish were out here, so we popped offshore. We're slow trolling live baits, and I mean, literally, we haven't been here. Oh, there he goes. We haven't been here 10 minutes, and my buddy got one, and we had a shark on. We were re-rigging a rod and left one out, and it got hammered. Small fish, but it's kingfish. They're here. Look how pretty that water is. The ever elusive king mackerel. Get my hook back, let that one go. Little guy, fun to catch though. See if we can find his mama. Oh yeah. Trying to get all of our baits out, we can't even do it. This is the way you like to see it. Wow. What's happened is perfect conditions for what we're doing. And the reason is because south of us, there's a thermocline. And when I talk about thermocline, it's an upwelling. And when the water gets cold south of us, those fish move to the north. So literally what we did today is we just ran until we found 80 degrees of water and put them out, and they are here. People always talk about, they're like, you know, what's the best time of year? And a lot of times when people think about fishing Florida, they think about our wintertime fishing, and honestly, to the south of us, the fishing does get better and better. It gets really hot down south, but for us here in Northeast Florida, the hotter it is, the better it is. When you have 80 degrees of water temperature and it's this clear and there's bait around, you could bet that there's going to be some kingfish around. Wow, there's fish just skying out there. She is a little bit bigger than the other one. There's some big fish in here though. We've seen them. Beautiful. Awesome. Look how pretty that fish is. Hang on tight. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. How about that, huh? Straight down. Be free.
Hey guys, we've got a huge opportunity for you. How about Tales of a Lifetime Sweepstakes, where you're going to have the opportunity to come to St. Augustine, Florida to film with us.
And fish with us.
How cool
also.
is that?
I mean, for a full day, it's in September.
Yeah.
All expenses paid, Brad.
September's
Everything.
a pretty good time of year, right, Kevin?
No, September's phenomenal. I mean, that's during the mullet run, the tarpon fishing, the kingfish, and everything's happening at that time of year. I mean, if I was going to pick a month to come to Northeast Florida to fish for a day, it would be September.
So game's going to be on when they get here. It's going to be a fun time. All expense paid, flight, hotel. We're going to have a dinner with Tales from the Outdoor Show crew right here in St. Augustine. It's going to be a great time. Make sure you go to talesfromtheoutdoorshow.com to register, or pursuitchannel.com and register for this great sweepstakes, Tales of a Lifetime Sweepstakes.
Got him?
It's running.
He's right there.
Beautiful. Good job, Stephen.
Thank you.
Lift up and reel down. There you go. Awesome. Look at that, right in the top of the nose. There she goes. Beautiful. Your first kingfish?
It's my first king right there.
Congratulations, buddy.
Good times.
A lot of times, people are always asking me, you know, why do we drag a sea anchor? And the reason is because whenever I'm slow trolling, I mean, really, when we talk about slow trolling, it's basically a controlled drift. I mean, right now I'm doing 1.6 miles an hour, which is perfect. You don't want to do anything over 2 miles an hour, because what happens is you'll start dragging your baits. If you see your baits like swimming sideways and the line's real tight, then you're going too fast. If you look at these lines, they got a real big loop in them, and those baits will swim back and forth just as natural as possible. So that sea anchor is the ticket. A lot of people drag 5-gallon buckets, which is fine, but what you'll find when you drag 5-gallon buckets like this, they will scratch the side of your boat. So that's why we use that sea anchor, because it's real soft. Nice. Nice. These fish are absolutely lit up. We had a fish I mean, literally seconds before we had this one on, we had 2 baits, what we call family baits, 2 baits, and I had 60-pound wire And that fish took off and bit through 60-pound wire, which is insane. You know, the other thing, we've talked about this all the time. You know, you see so many places where you go and there'll be 20, 30, 40 boats. I mean, literally, it's myself and Captain Kirk. There's two of us out here, and we're on this kind of bite of fish. Always makes it a little bit more fun when you don't have to worry about a bunch of boats being out here. Go where you want. You know, you don't have to worry about people's downriggers getting in the way and stuff. Wow, that fish is burning it. Wow. We're actually having to chase this fish down a little bit. She took about 250 yards of line. So hopefully we're looking for one of those big fish, you know, like 25, 35 pounds or so. Like I said, the one that we just had on that double pokey rig, that was a big fish. So maybe this one was swimming with it. Slow down just a hair, Bill. Yep, I got her coming back. You can go to neutral. Starting to gain some line back. That fish, I mean, she just took some serious line. No, she's not that big. She's just feisty. Probably, like I said, foul hooked in the side or something. Yep, absolutely. Yep. It's about the same size we've been catching. But I can promise you that's not what hit that double pokey rig. Love catching these things. Well, they get a little bit bigger. Be free. It was funny, just before we hooked these fish, I looked at my cameraman and I said, "Big Bill, look at that big old wad of bait." And there was just this huge bait pod underneath the boat. And that's where those fish were. Shark. Perfect. Just pop her off there. Good job. Brad, a lot of times when people use downriggers, you know, they'll put it at, you know, 35 feet and just, they don't adjust.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? They're like, okay, this is what I see people do. They put it down and blah, blah, blah.
They're trolling,
they're trolling and, you know, and they'll get a shark and, you know, they'll get something, you know, or they're not getting any bites on it, this, that, and the other.
Right.
The one thing about a downrigger, you've got to pay attention. Simply for the fact that, like when we were kingfishing the other day, you know, I generally troll 3 rods out, flat lines, and then 2 downriggers.
Right.
And every time we put the downrigger down, I was fishing in 50 feet of water, so I had it at 35 feet. Kept getting sharks, kept getting sharks. What that means is that there's simply a thermocline down there. Those are cold water sharks. And you need to adjust your downrigger.
To get away from that.
To get away from that. So each time you put it out, put it at, you know, 30 feet, then 25 feet and 20 feet, and then you'll figure out where that thermocline is. The other way that you can tell is your downrigger ball. You know, if you lift up and you touch that downrigger ball and it's cold,
yeah,
you're too deep.
Okay.
You know, so always adjust your downrigger. Don't just put it out at one depth and think, okay, that's good. Pay attention to what you're catching on there. Pay attention to the temperature of that downrigger ball.
For more tips and hits, make sure you go to our website at talesfromtheoutdoorshow.com.
Yeah. Here, Steve. Let you catch that. He's a big one too. That's a big fish, bud. Real big fish. I saw him. The old double pokey rig in the prop wash. You know, people ask me, you know, there's always questions. But literally, when we talk about a prop wash bait, we'll take a bait and literally put it right here behind the motor. And, oh, there's another one. No, I think he came off. No, he didn't. Gotta be a shark. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, so anyway, what we were talking about is literally we'll take a bait, put it in these rod holders right here, and put it right behind the motor, like 10 feet or so. And that bait is that one right there. As a matter of fact, it's the one that got hit. And the reason we do that, if you look in here, got all your baits, and that's fresh water coming in all the time. And then obviously there's an overflow. And when that overflow goes out, leaves a smell. And when that smell, those fish will come up to that smell right there behind the bait. So don't be bashful to put a bait when you're slow trolling like that right behind that engine. I think you got him coming in backwards. I think he's foul hooked. I can see him back there. Big old barracuda. Nice. Supposed to hook them in the mouth, Stephen.
That's too easy. Okay.
Look at that. Hooked right in the back. That barracuda's like, that's not fair. There he goes. Be free. All right, let's go catch the tarpon. Oh, she spit it. Dadgummit. Ah. Oh, man. Had her. Whew. That was awesome. That's the one I wanted too, about a 70, 80 pounder, not one of those giant ones. Oh, oh, here she comes back. Here she comes, Big Bill. She's coming right at it. Coming right at it. Oh, you got it. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I'm over 2. Dadgummit, I never could get tight on her. As soon as she felt that hook, she came right to me. Dadgummit, that was another good fish.
Really hope you guys enjoyed that show.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
that. There was some nice fishing action. Boy, it's great to get the kingfish bite like that.
Yeah.
That was exciting. Anytime you hear a screaming reel,
It's fun to hear the
that's a
drag go.
good day. Now, Kevin, you're fishing out here 4 or 5 days a week.
Yep.
Is that fairly typical for what we see this time of year in Northeast Florida?
Honestly, that's what I expect.
Yeah.
You know, those are the days that I expect. You should get a couple shots at tarpon. You know, whether it be in the morning or that day it was in the afternoon, and then you should be able to pop offshore and catch 6 or 8 kingfish. You know, but that day just really was an exception. I mean, because the kingfishing was ridiculous. And then when we pulled in there was 10, 12 tarpon in there feeding, and there was some really big kingfish and sharks in there feeding too. So yeah, I mean those are the days that I expect to happen. That's not that it happens all the time.
Right.
But dude, that was a day that it did happen.
How exciting is that when you actually have the tarpon breaching the top of the water as they're feeding, you're able to sight cast right to them. Now, Kevin, I know it's awesome to hook tarpon and be reeling them and fighting these fish. I always thought you're supposed to get them to the boat for it to be a catch, Kevin. I didn't realize this long line release on these fish.
Well, I'm getting older, you know, and so I just want to see them jump.
So that's by design. You're doing that on
purpose. Yeah. I just let them go, get a couple jumps out of them, and then, you know, let them go. It's good TV. Yeah. It
was a great show, Captain.
Absolutely.
You guys caught them up
Wish
this
you were
week,
there,
as always.
man.
I do too. Well, I'll be on the next trip with you. Hey guys, don't forget, tailsfromtheoutdoorshow.com. Make sure you register for our sweepstakes. Get in on all the great stuff we've got at our company store and look at all the details the Big Bill's posting for you there on our website. And make sure you like us on Facebook. We keep some great tips right here from the captain. He's fishing out here every week. He's going to be giving you updates, the highlights and the lowlights, and let you know what's going on in saltwater Northeast Florida.
And don't forget, take those kids fishing.
Look forward to seeing you next week right here on Tales from the Outdoor Show. Folks, make sure you go to tailsfromtheoutdoorshow.com to register for the Tales of a Lifetime sweepstakes and have a chance to not only come to St. Augustine and film a show with us, but also have a grand party right here at the Kingfish Grill. You're going to be dining with the hosts of Tales from the Outdoor Show. We're going to have a wonderful party the night before, go out, have a full day fishing trip, and film a show the next day. And you're going to have an all-expense-paid trip right here in Northeast Florida to wonderful St. Augustine, the oldest city in the country.
Hey folks, make sure you join us on Facebook here on Tales from the Outdoor Show, simply for the fact that, hey, I fish about 4 or 5 days a week. We can't film all that, but I will be posting most every day to let you know exactly what's happening here in Northeast Florida and just how good our fishing is. And if you have any questions for anybody from Tales from the Outdoor Show, make sure you post it up and we will personally answer those questions.
We'll see you next week for more angling action on Tales from the Outdoor Show.